this video, I'll travel to Taiwan's capital, Taipei, a city of contrasts, a mix of modern and traditional, a cosmopolitan metropolis where ancient buildings blend seamlessly into landscapes filled with towering skyscrapers. From the serene hilltops of the surrounding green mountains to the tranquil grounds of ancient temples, we will discover what Taipei really is like. Taiwan had never really been on top of my list, but now it's one of my favorite places I've ever visited. And in this video, I'd like to show you why that is. Welcome back to Asia. I'm here in Taipei, capital of Taiwan, and I'm gonna spend the next 10 days here, and I'm gonna take you with me explore the city. So I'm really excited. It feels just so good to be back here in Asia, and this city makes me feel really comfortable. I'm so happy and I'm so excited to explore together with you. So let's go. During my 10 days here in Taiwan, I tried a lot of street food, visited temples, and explored what life is like in Taipei. And here in front of the temple, we have a lot of market stalls, people selling all kind of fruits and vegetables. Here we have some dried roots and nuts, I think, and eggs, lots of eggs here. You can also buy fresh fish right over here. Right now the temperature is perfect. We have around 20 degrees Celsius during the day. It's January, so it's perfect for exploring the city. It's not too hot because Taipei is really tropical. It gets really hot in the summer times. And even in summer times, they're selling fresh fish, raw meats here, sitting outside. And yeah, look, for example, here we have some more meats. We have chicken, I think. Lots of garlic too. Yeah, so for foreigners, I personally would not recommend buying any meat here on the street, I think, because our stomachs are just not as strong. We're not used to all the bacteria that can grow in the meat when it's sitting outside, like right here, for example. But I personally don't eat meat anyway, so you can also find lots of tofu here for vegetarians. Wow, this looks actually really good, all this tofu. They have a lot of soy products here in Taiwan. It is actually a paradise for vegans and vegetarians like me. There's so many restaurants, so many food options. Compared to mainland China, Taiwan feels much older and more tropical. Also, the level of English is way higher over here. And Western media is not restricted, which makes this country very accessible to foreigners. We're here at the metro station. The metro system here is actually really efficient and so cheap. I got this metro card here for like 100 Taiwanese dollars. That's maybe like $2 US and a couple of cents, and one ride is probably about like 50 cents, and it brings you anywhere in the city. So we're gonna take the metro today. It's the best way of transportation in my opinion. Even though over 9 million people live in Taipei's urban area, everything here in the city is so organized. Everyone lines up in front of the metro and enters the train in an orderly and calm manner. There's no skipping the line, no pushing or shouting. The whole country is connected by bullet train, and from Taipei, located at the northern tip of the island, to the southern parts of the island, it only takes about 1.5 hours. Another thing I was really positively surprised about is that everyone, without exception, stands on the right on the escalator. The left side is strictly for walking only, so people don't get held up. In no other country I've ever been to did this system work this perfectly. A couple of minutes later, I arrived to the Chiang Shek Memorial Hall. This memorial hall was built in honor of the former president of the Republic of China, Chiang Kai-shek. He and his government fled to Taiwan from mainland China after the Chinese Communist Party, led by Mao Zedong, defeated him in the mid-20th century. So this is the memorial hall of the President of the Republic of China. And I'd say we have a look upstairs. After Chiang Kai-shek and his government have retreated to Taiwan, a dark area of repression began on the island, called the White Terror. It all began with the Nationalist Party of China, known as the Kuomintang or KMT, led by Chiang Kai-shek, came into power. The KMT imposed martial law in Taiwan, which enabled them to suppress political dissidents, enforce censorship, conduct surveillance, and resulted in the arrest of around 140,000 Taiwanese, with approximately 3,000 to 4,000 people killed. All of this occurred during the Cold War. The United States of America, eager to limit communist influence in Asia, began providing military and economic assistance to Taiwan's KMT government, despite the authoritarian practices and human rights violations committed by the regime. Up here on the ceiling we have the same sun that we can also see in the Taiwanese flag. And this sun is also the official emblem of the KMT, which is one of the two strongest parties in Taiwan today. In the 1970s, after the Sino-Soviet split, which occurred mainly due to ideological differences between China and the Soviet Union, the US began to re-engage politically with mainland China. Soon after, in 1971, Taiwan was expelled from the United Nations and was replaced by the People's Republic of China as the representative of China. Nevertheless, the US has maintained strong relations with Taiwan up to the present day. I'm here in an area called Ximen. It's like the cool district, the trendy district, with all these lights at night. That's why I decided to come here at night. There's also some street food here, I think. It's like super busy. I have to take care not to run into anyone here because it's super busy. But I'd say we have a look around. It's like super cool. There seems to be a lot of stuff going on here right now. After walking around through the lit up streets for a while, a stinky smell filled my nose. Stinky tofu. An especially stinky kind of tofu that's very popular here in Taiwan. Soon, I found a guy selling the tofu at the side of the road, so I decided to get a portion. This is like super juicy. I tried this in mainland China before, so now it's time to try the Taiwanese version. This one isn't black, it's brown, so it's a bit different. Let's get some chilies here. A minute later, all the street food vendors started to pull their stalls into the dark side streets. So it's very interesting, the guy that sold us the tofu just ran away because I don't think they have a license and there's like police coming here. So whenever there's police, all of the street food vendors just run off into the side streets. It's like so chaotic. But now let's try the tofu. That's like super crispy. I wish they would have fried it a little bit less and gave me a little bit more chili to make it really nice and spicy. But it's really good. I really like it. Once the tofu is fried, it loses its strong smell and it definitely tastes way better than it smelled before. Good morning from another day here in Taipei. I'm here in the Lungshan area. It's more of a local area. I actually really like it. It's so cute. And right over here I found a little street with some street food stalls. And since I didn't have breakfast yet and it's already lunchtime, I think I'm gonna try to find some food here. You can find little street food markets in many side streets across the city. Usually food here is really affordable and you can eat super authentic and delicious for a few US dollars. All of this food here smells really good, but I want to try a special Taiwanese thing, a scallion pancake, and I just found a stall selling it here. So let's see if we can find a vegetarian one. Here we have an English menu, very nice. I think I'm gonna go with cheese and egg. Cheese and egg. Cheese and egg. While waiting for my scallion pancake, I could watch how they made it. First, the lady in the back presses little dough balls into flat, round shapes and throws them on the grill. A second lady fries the eggs and tops them with slices of cheese on the second grill before they get topped with one of the pancakes. After flipping the pancakes around, they get covered in some spicy sauce before being served. So, here we have the pancake. It's with cheese and egg inside, some spicy sauce that they added upon request. Let's try it, it looks really good. That's really good, guys. Look at this. It's very fluffy, very flaky dough, very savory, perfect breakfast food. And this costs about $1.60 USD, more or less. I'm almost finished, but I wanted to show you this part. See how creamy it is in there? This is really such a good breakfast food. After finishing my scallion pancake, I wanted to see one of the city's most famous temples, the Lungshan Temple. This one here is the Lungshan Temple, one of the biggest and most popular temples here in Taipei. And look at this, that is beautiful. Look at this waterfall here. In this temple, visitors worship both Buddhist and Taoist deities, and I was really surprised about how busy it was. So here on this side you can see all the offerings left by people. Lots of fruits over there, and I think also like sweet things in general are pretty common to be left at a temple. You can see down here people also leave some cakes, not only fruits, for the gods that are worshipped here in this temple. Everyone has like these shells in their hand and like drops them on the floor. The red pair of shells this person is throwing on the floor are called jiaobei, or moon blocks, and are believed to provide divine guidance. One side of each shell is flat, whereas the other side is rounded. Depending on how the shells land on the ground, the combination can provide an answer to the question. I think these sticks here are Chinese fortune sticks. Each of the sticks has a unique number which corresponds with a specific fortune. This guy here probably came with a question in mind. Shake the 100 fortune sticks in the bucket. Pulled one, read its number, and now he's gonna look up the specific fortune. Over here you can find the different shrines for the deities that are worshipped here in this temple. Depending on what you need in your life, you'll pray to a different deity, because each one can grant you different things, such as fortune, health, or help with your academic success. Usually, you'll also leave a little donation here so your wish will come true. After I made my wish to the good fortune horse, one of the deities, I left the temple and went to the nearby market area, which seemed really local to me. Here I am at a market, a very local market, I think. And let's see what they sell. Look, lots of fresh fish. And you can definitely smell that fish. Yeah, here you can see like lots of fresh meat you can buy. That is probably like super fresh meat, by the way. This market here is the best example of how I always imagined mainland China to look like. But cities in the mainland are super modern, with million-dollar skyscrapers everywhere that light up in all kinds of different neon colors at night. Yo, this looks like a very local market here. Taiwan, however, feels much older. There are more historic buildings here, and you can see the typical red lanterns everywhere. Also, the island is very tropical, so it's very green and you can see lots of exotic plants. The whole island is covered in jungle and huge mountains. It's a super unique vibe and it's absolutely beautiful. Taiwan in Taipei especially is perfect for vegans and vegetarians, and I'm here at a vegetarian restaurant And I got these noodles. This is fake pork here on top, I think. And also this is bean curry or tofu skin. And it's like made in different spices. It's super juicy and flavorful. And let's try it. I'm super excited. These are so good. And this tofu here, I've never had anything like this in the West. This is so juicy. Oh my god. This is so flavorful. Here I'm at the edge of Taipei, and here behind me you can see the famous Taipei 101 tower, the World Trade Center. And today I'm gonna do a little hike. I'm gonna go to the Elephant Mountain, a very popular mountain here that offers beautiful views over the city. So let's go. So I hiked through some residential areas before I left the edges of the city behind and started hiking up these stairs through the lush green forest. So we're here up the mountain. It took about 20 minutes. It's not really a hike, to be honest. It's more just a couple of stairs leading up the hill. This is at an elevation of 184 meters, so not too high, not too difficult. And that's the view from the top. I'm here in another area of Taipei near Dihua Old Street. And it's a pretty popular street with old buildings. And I think we can find a lot of market stands there, people selling things. Oh wow, here's already the first things. Look at all of these mushrooms. They have a lot of mushrooms here in Taiwan as well as in mainland China. Thanks to its unique ecological conditions, you can find a rich biodiversity here in Taiwan. And you can find more than 6,300 identified fungal species on the island, including dozens of edible species. After a couple of minutes, I reached Dihua Old Street. The shops are illuminated in warm colors and the roads are decorated with lanterns. You can find lots of street food here, mainly sweet things. One of the most popular sweets here seem to be mochi strawberries, which are ripe strawberries covered first in a red bean paste and then in Japanese rice cake, and lastly coated in some white powder. Here we have it. It's very soft. It feels very delicate. It was really chewy. The white rice cake didn't have much taste, to be honest, and the bean paste wasn't too sweet, but I personally prefer plain strawberries. Since there wasn't much savory food here, I decided to head to another street food market, the Rahoe Night Market, which is one of Taipei's biggest street food markets. Here, I found so many delicious foods and many vegetarian options. First, I decided to have this fried cheese stick. It was so cheesy and almost a little bit sweet. Definitely a very unique cheese stick. Then I had some stinky tofu, which I've already tried in Ximen a couple of days earlier. Cheers! But this one here was just so much better, super juicy and with lots of chili. And last, I had one of these cheesy garlic flatbreads for dessert. Then I was full, but it was still so much fun to continue walking through the narrow streets and soaking in all the aromas and noises in the crammed roads. Can you see the neon signs behind me? The green ones up here. These signs show that there are Bettle Nuts sold. It's an addictive stimulating substance similar to nicotine that is consumed in a lot of countries here in Asia and also here in Taiwan. It is completely legal here and it has a long history. It was introduced by the indigenous people of Taiwan to the Chinese people that came over from the mainland. And I would say we go over to the shop and see if we can get a Bettle Nut and try it. So that's the shop here, and in there we can see the lady preparing the nut. Decades ago, the Bettle Nut was served by Bettle Nut beauties, young girls dressed in revealing clothes standing in these shops with huge windows. Today, these practices are banned in Taipei City. Okay, so this was a little bit awkward. I don't really know what happened, but the lady gave me exactly 2 Bettle Nuts in a cup and like shooed me away. So here we have them. And she didn't want any money because I think usually people do not buy only 1 to chew. I think you will buy like a whole pack, and she apparently has just like 2 Bettle Nuts in a cup ready to go for random foreigners coming by and wanting to try it. But we got it and now we go back to the hotel. Okay, so I'm back here at my hotel with the recently acquired Bettle Nuts. This is my friend Laken back there. She's gonna chew the Bettle Nut with me. She's a bit shy, so yeah, she's a bit shy and doesn't really want to be part of the video. These are like fresh nuts in here, wrapped into this leaf, the betel leaf, and they use slaked lime to wrap this nut in the betel leaf. Guys, do not try to do this at home because this might be illegal in some countries. Plus, if you don't prepare this correctly, you can really hurt your mouth. During my 2 months in mainland China, I tried the dried version of the Bettle Nut. Over there it is widely consumed, and in some cities the grounds are covered with spit out Bettle Nut. Here in Taiwan, these nuts are often consumed by truckers who need to stay awake on long drives. This is like really bitter, like real bitter. Like, in the end, I probably did feel a little bit lightheaded, maybe a little bit like a nicotine buzz. It's all red here. Above that, my heart rate was slightly increased and my head felt warmer than usual. But besides that, I felt entirely normal. I really enjoyed these couple of days in Taiwan. The country was never on top of my list, but I think it's now one of my favorite ones. But of course, I don't only want to explore Taipei City, so the next couple of days I will spend outside the city in the country's beautiful and mountainous countryside.